because it came up again in the chatty house. Somebody said that they would. Where did it go? I need to start starring things. Talking about Nassir Little again.
Yeah.
The Kings do they make a play for him? The Kings have to go get him. He's wing defensive help. If they go and get Nassir Little, I'm not even sure he would be on the team.
Yeah, I mean, he would be in competition for like 11, 12, 13 spot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think he'd make the team. They have Boogie Ellis as like the 15th roster spot. They are signing, from what I know, Scalaby's here, but to an Exhibit 10.
Right.
And then chances are they're waiving him, just giving him some guaranteed money, some bonus money. So when he goes to the G League, he'll stick around.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like they do have a roster spot to play with here.
Mm-hmm.
And they also, like, look, like, is Jalen McDaniels a player or not?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't really know. He was good 2 years ago, but on a really bad Hornets team last year, he didn't hardly play at all.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Orlando Robinson. You don't really know what you have. So there might not be a lot of competition for a roster spot in training camp.
Yeah.
But I also have a tough time believing that the Kings are going to walk into the season with 15 players. That's not to, disparage Boogie Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
He played really hard in summer league. It's just really hard to make a team, and for a team like the Kings to walk into a season knowing that you still have 3 two-way players,
Mm-hmm.
that you have up to 50 games a year to bounce back and forth, up to the main club. So how many minutes is Boogie Ellis actually going to play? I mean, he's also a player that if you were to, if you do waive him, I believe he has to go into the G League draft. So like retaining him is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But you also, if one of your other two-way contracts isn't really working out in preseason and like training camp and everything else, you can waive one of those guys and sign Boogie Ellis to a two-way contract.
Sure.
And that might make more sense. And then leave that last roster spot open. So yeah, the Kings have a roster spot, and you never know. Like the reason I bring up Nassir Little, like 24 years old, highly thought of just a couple of years ago, and then kind of fallen out of favor. Can he play or not? I don't know.
That's what I wanted to get at.
Yeah,
I'm happy you said that, because that's what somebody said. I saw something to the effect of they need to go get him, and they don't. It's a good idea. Like it's a in theory.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, a potential wing. They need some wing depth. He's 6'6". He could play the 2 or the 3. I think he's played some 4 in his career, but you're probably looking at him as a 3 primarily. But it's not like he's been this awesome player who needs a change of scenery. Like, no, he's just not quite ever been a regular rotation guy or a really productive rotation guy. He may or may not be a quality NBA player.
Yeah, and like to kind of knock people off kilter here, he kind of looks a lot like Moses Moody, like at this point in their careers. If you look at where he was 3 years into his career, he averaged 9.8 points for Portland. It looked like he was starting to take off, got a shoulder injury, really set him back. But same dimensions, same 6'6" dude, same 7'1" wingspan, 3-point shooter, athlete, all of these things. There's not a lot of difference, like for me, in like comparing these two players.
Yeah.
Moody's 22, he's 24. Like there's a possibility that he works out and becomes a player, but you're not just all in on either one of them, because you don't really, they haven't proven they can do something for 82 games and shown you that they're the next step. But for me, it wouldn't hurt to go out and get a guy like this. Yeah.
Love the idea. I just, what I want to avoid is, let's say he signs with the Grizzlies. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Just some other team. It's not some travesty. And
oh my gosh, you missed out.
Yes, correct.
You missed out.
Yeah. I love the idea. If it doesn't happen, I don't want to set some bar or some standard that if they don't get Nassir Little, then they're failing as a front office.
No, totally. I would say this though. The one interesting thing about Nassir Little is that he's getting waived on a 3-year, like almost $22 million deal, which means that somebody believed in him enough to give him a second contract at, 3 years or 4 years, whatever it was, that the contract that he's playing out right now. And I'm not sure what that deal was, but it's at least enough where you're like, hey, somebody believed in him enough to give him money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he just fits the like modern NBA archetype, right?
yeah, the wing. Yeah, the wing
6'6",
archetype.
lengthy defender,
Mhm.
can shoot a three. And
No,
maybe
I
he'll
think
develop with us.
yeah, exactly. And I just think that last year, whatever happened in Phoenix, I'm not sure.
Mhm.
They had a need for that guy,
Mhm.
and he wasn't able to get on the court and stay on the court.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, as a third-year player, as a 21-year-old, he averaged 9.8 points, 5.6 rebounds, which is nice. He averaged zero point 0.9 blocks in 25 and a half minutes, almost 26 minutes. And
Mhm.
he only shot 33% from three, 46% from the field.
Mhm.
He was like a productive player for Portland on a young team that was trying to develop. And then injuries kind of set him back. And maybe he's a player, maybe he's not. I don't know. But like,
But the crux of all this, if you're going to take a flyer on a guy who may or may not be good, you'd rather he be a 6'6" wing than a 6'2" guard.
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
I would totally agree. And he signed a 4-year, $28 million extension,
Mhm.
his rookie scale extension. Like someone believed in him enough to give
Mhm.
him
Mhm.
some money.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
have to see how it works out.
it's not Nassir Little specifically. It's not it's not
Yeah.
like, man, it's just no, this is a 6'6" wing who may or may not be a good defender, who may or may not be able to knock down a three.
Yeah, and I'm not
That's it.
saying under any circumstance should the Kings pick up like he's being waived. Just claim him on waivers, which I don't. They couldn't do anyways because of their salary cap situation.
Right.
But that's not what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
he's a player that you should at least be interested in on a minimum deal, which is again a $2.2 million. It
Yeah.
probably work out for him to be like $2.8 million deal, but like how much you're paying is 2.2.
Mhm.